In this video, we are going to talk about what it's like to interview at Google. We are going to break down this interview process, and in doing so, we're going to answer a very important question of why do most people fail the Google interview? Coming from someone who has failed the Google interview to later acing it, I feel like I can provide some insight on what to do, what not to do, and in doing so, you can realize like what is the best way to prepare. But before you know the best way to prepare, you got to know the process. So after your recruiter has sent you that message on LinkedIn or wherever they sent you the message, your interview has already begun. Your unofficial interview has begun. By the way, if you would like tips on how to get recruiters to notice you, especially through LinkedIn, check out that video I did right there. But yeah, your interview has begun, and just make sure you're bringing good energy. You're very grateful just because your recruiter is so important throughout this entire process. They're the person you're going to be communicating with the most the entire time. They're the ones that give you interview tips. They're the ones who can reschedule your interview. If you're sick or something goes wrong, they're the person you're going to negotiate your salary with. Like, recruiters are so important. All the recruiters I've talked to at Google so far, every time I interviewed, each time, top notch. So you're definitely, I feel like you'll be in good hands there. And then after that, what they're going to do is set up the initial phone screening. So during this time, they're really just trying to get to know you better. Like, this is very chill. They're not going to ask you any like deep technical questions or, anything like that at this stage. So it's very chill. You might talk about what you're currently working on, what excites you about Google, what products you might want to work on, but it's, very, very chill at this stage. Now, after you had a great phone screening with your recruiter, the recruiter will want to set up your first interview, which is a phone interview. How the phone interview looks like is an engineer from Google will give you a call, and during that time they will test you on a certain topic. Now, this is where I think some people mess up, and I have definitely messed up in the past. Just because you're so excited, you just talked to the recruiter, it was a great phone call, and you're so excited to get this process moving. However, you don't even know what the interview process looks like. So I think that's why some people might fail the Google interview. From my experience and from talking to other people as well, you get tested on data structures and algorithms. So you have to see, do you know the difference in when to use a stack or a queue? Do you know about, the different types of trees? There are so many different data structures, y'all. You have to know arrays, stacks, queues, linked lists, circular linked lists. You have to know, your trees, your tree, binary tree, perfect tree, complete tree, full tree, binary search tree. I don't know if I said that already. You have to know your different graphs, the graph algorithms, difference between directed and undirected, and what that means for your code. There's so many different topics you need to know that before you even set up that phone interview, y'all, really see in your heart and in your soul if you know these topics. What you could do is go to LeetCode.com, a very popular website for getting these coding interview questions. Sort it by most popular. Do some medium problems and see how well do you solve them. So I feel like that's a really good step to gauge how you are. But for me, I had that experience back in college where I miserably failed an interview, and that was because I didn't know what the interview process looked like. So this time around, I knew I had to give myself some time to really study and let the recruiter know. And I feel like the recruiter was like, dang, you need that much time to study? But look, I wasn't no new person to this, and I knew that I need to spend some time. And the difference between internships and full-time is internships, if you're applying for a Google internship, they might only have a set number of seats. Maybe they can only have 5,000 interns or something like that. But for full-time, look, Google needed engineers a year ago. Google gonna need engineers now. Google gonna need engineers in the future. They are just so expanding. They have so many different products, especially Amazon, all these different big tech companies. So don't worry about rushing the process. Unless your recruiter says different, look, we're trying to fill this role yesterday, or something like that, then, you got to do it. But, the recruiter wants to see you win. They want to recruit people, that's their job. So definitely just be honest with them and be honest with yourself. Once you do know your data structures And by the way, Meezy and I were coming out with data structure flashcards. More information in the description box below. But yeah, once you do know your data structures and you know your algorithms, you feel confident, you did all the prep, then you can set up that phone interview. What the phone interview looks like is it's usually around 45 minutes. It's with a Google engineer. They might ask you a question about your resume. And then after that, they dig into the question. And what's interesting about the question they give you is they try to start it off more straightforward. And you could say more basic in a sense. You know, they start you off with a question, and I can't give the exact question I got just because you actually signed an NDA. Like, they're that serious, you can't share that. But I can give you an example of something they might ask. So for example, they might say, like, given a tree, I want you to find the smallest value in that tree. And you know, you have to go through that process, ask those clarifying questions, like what kind of tree are they talking about, all that different stuff. But let's say you solve that. Let's say you solve that in a good 10 minutes. Then after that, they try to make the question even harder. Okay, you were able to find the smallest element, but what about the kth smallest element? So for example, can you find the third smallest element in the tree? Can you find the 10th smallest element in the tree? You know, something like that. And then finally, to really get it home, if you know your stuff, you know your code, you know your data structures, they could ask, like, given two trees, you know, what is the third smallest element between them? Something like that. But you see how each time the question got a little bit harder, even though it was still focused on the same data structure, and the problems are very similar. They just tweaked it a little bit more each time. So that's what the phone interview looks like. After that, you know, I think your recruiter will get back to you within like 5 to 7 days is the time frame. And then after you pass that, it's time for your on-site interviews. So, you know, they're still testing you on data structures and algorithms. However, you know, your first interview, they might test you on, you know, a matrix problem. You know, the second interview, they might test you on, you know, stacks and queues. Like, you know, it's just different concepts. I feel like each interviewer has a different data structure or a different concept they're trying to test you on. And, you know, you just do that back to back to back to back. The interview is about 5 hours long. I believe it's like 4 coding questions and 1 behavioral question. So y'all, they really try to figure out what you know and what you don't know. And that's what that process looks like. And, you know, I'm going to go into depth about how I prepared for that. But just some quick tips right now is that, like, you know, when you're practicing these data structures and algorithms, you're not just practicing, can I solve this problem? You have to be able to solve a problem and also communicate what you're thinking. You know, you're practicing a whole bunch of different things, like, you know, coding on a whiteboard or, you know, on like a Google document is way different than coding, like, you know, in a coding environment, in a coding editor. By the way, part of that process too is that companies like Amazon and Google, you don't code somewhere where you can actually run your code. Like, there's no run button. Instead, what it is, it just looks like a plain document. Consider like Microsoft Word, like it just looks like you're typing up something, like you're typing up an essay, but you have to write code there. So part of my experience was practicing coding in that Microsoft Word environment. I hope from here you have a better understanding of what the interview process looks like. So then answering that question I proposed in the beginning, why do most people fail the Google interview? It's not because they're dumb, not because of any of that. It's not because of the smartest, brightest people at Google. No, it's either you've prepared or you haven't prepared. I watched so many YouTube videos, like Back to Back Swede is one video I remember in particular, and he said he solved 250 leak code questions in order to prepare for his interviews. And in the past, I might have done, what, 15? Like, I did not prepare at all. So I definitely knew I needed to prepare. Even while going through my interviews, and I was actually in my behavioral interview, and I was kind of just talking to the guy, and I was like, how many problems did you solve to prepare for yours? And he said 300. And he said he does them in his free time as well. So it's definitely not a smart versus dumb thing. It's just a prepared or not prepared kind of thing. So yeah, I think that's why most people fail it, is that they're just not prepared. So thank you so much for watching this video. In the next video, we are going to break down how I studied for this war. What is a different word than war? For this marathon, how I studied for this marathon. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.